I've been playing competitive chess my whole life. I've known this world inside out. The tournaments, the sponsors, organizations, federations, money, people who think they matter versus people who actually do. And the person who matters the most right now in chess is not any of that you might think. Sponsor with a huge logo on the banner, FIDE, chess.com, Chess, take. Grandmasters? No, it's just one guy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You'll make my day better. This is Championships Chess Tour with Magnus Carlsen. And this is the same tournament without him. You can see the difference for yourself. The chess industry is being kept alive by one person. And that person could walk out the door tomorrow, if not today. Magnus Carlsen is a Norwegian prodigy who became a grandmaster at the age of 13, which almost nobody does. He became world champion in 2013 and held that title for 10 straight years until 2023, with a peak rating of 2882. But Magnus figured out something very early that other players, or even most of the players, probably have never did at all. G-Star Raw campaigns, Porsche ads, Puma, Play Magnus, Take. While everyone else was focused purely on the game, Magnus was building something that existed around chess and beyond it. But the number that actually gets me is not 2882 itself. It's the fact that Magnus Carlsen has been the #1 player in the world since 2011. Not just for 1 year in a dominant cycle, but for 15 years and 179 consecutive rating lists. I watched this from the outside and I think we genuinely stopped noticing how incredible it is. We got used to the fact that Magnus Carlsen is always there. As of May 2026, Magnus Carlsen is still ranked #1 in the world with a rating of 2840. Although I do wonder what his rating is gonna be like after Norway Chess, since he lost the entire 4 games by the time I'm recording this video. And then, at an absolute peak of the game, he simply decided not to defend his World Chess Championship title. He didn't lose it, burn it, or retire. He just decided he didn't want to play that match anymore and said so without much of an explanation and without an apology. That's very much like Magnus. Magnus Carlsen publicly accused Hans Niemann of cheating, refused to play him, and withdrew from a tournament cause of it, turning a single chess game into an international scandal that every major outlet covered. And no hard public evidence ever came out, not even after that untold revelation that chess.com promised us we'd have. He shows up to tournaments in jeans and says classical chess bores him, which is a remarkable thing to say when you are the best classical chess player alive. He behaves like a rock star at a sport that still very much wants everyone to sit quietly in a blazer. And I want to be clear, I'm not saying any of this as a criticism, of course not, I would never, but because this is precisely why people watch him. The cameras find Magnus before they even find the board, because with him the game is never just the game, it's what mood he walked in with. That's also why the old rules of chess don't apply to him anymore, because he never agreed to them in the first place. In December 2024, at the World Rapid and Blitz Chess Championships in New York City, where I was playing by the way as well, Magnus showed up in jeans. FIDE fined him with $200 and told him to change. He said no. They forfeited his results and he walked out. 2 days later, FIDE changed the dress code. Magnus came back in jeans. Now ask yourself honestly, what would have happened to any other player who did exactly that? Because that's the real story. The rules in chess are no longer applied the same to everyone. There are players and there is Magnus. And those have become 2 entirely different categories. But this isn't really about the genes. And not even really about Magnus as a person. It's about what he represents for the business of chess. His brand deals exist in a completely different universe from what any other chess player has or had. Fashion, technology, finance, apps, media. When a major brand wants to enter the chess scene, they don't go to FIDE first, they go to Magnus. Which means money doesn't flow into chess through the institution anymore. It flows through him. Viewership with Magnus and without him are not the same sport, and sponsors know that. They are not interested in chess because of some romantic attachment to the game. They're interested in attention, and right now a massive portion of that attention is attached to one man. Sports have seen this before. When Tiger Woods stepped away, the golf ratings went with him. And when Conor McGregor pulled back, USAF pay-per-view felt it immediately. When an entire industry builds itself around a single personality, it becomes enormously powerful and enormously fragile at the same time. FIDE sells chess, chess.com sells content, Take sells Lichess. But in the end of the day, everybody sells Magnus. And the problem with that is that one day he eventually is gonna stop playing. Well, there is also an optimistic version. Hikaru has built a massive audience completely outside of traditional chess. Fabiano is still one of the strongest players on the planet, even if the age factor is starting to create pressure. Niporishi just said publicly he's still hunting for the title. Gukesh became the 18th World Chess Champion at the age of 18. And Sindarov is already the next World Chess Championship challenger. The talent is genuinely there. And if chess figures out how to build personal brands around multiple players and not one single cult figure, the future is bright. But here's what actually worried me about Gukesh. At 17, the whole world was watching him win the candidates. At 18, he became world champion. And almost immediately, you could see the weight of what the industry was doing with that. We all remember what happened to the 17th World Chess Championship Ding Liren. Rest in peace. Is it the pressure of the crown? Or simply Magnus having dominated the industry for so long that even stepping away from the title didn't really open the door for the new stars yet? And then there is Hans Niemann, who has somehow carved out a real presence in chess, not by becoming the next great champion as he claimed he would, but by playing the bad boy card so aggressively ever since being accused of cheating and winning the court case. Whether you like him or not, he figured out something important. In the attention economy, controversy is a brand. Как говорится, что не делается, все к лучшему. Which brings us to the real conclusion. The next star of chess does not have to look like Magnus. They just have to make people care. And that's the job nobody in chess is doing intentionally right now. FIDE keeps reacting instead of building. Chess.com keeps producing Magnus-centered content because it works for their subscription business. And frankly, we don't blame them. They're the only genuinely successful commercial operation chess has ever produced. But new players get serious attention only when they're useful to the current storyline, not because anyone is actually interested in them for the long term. I have always said it myself. Chess players do not put enough importance into their own visibility.
They reject interviews when they're not in the mood, ignore social media, treat personal branding like it's beneath them.
So why would building their brand be someone else's responsibility? Спасение утопающих – дело рук самих утопающих. Chess has survived wars, revolutions, the Cold War turning it into geopolitical theater, computers becoming stronger than any human, the internet, COVID shutting down every over-the-board tournament on the planet, and now AI reshaping everything again, genuinely existential threats. But the real question is whether chess can survive Zakat epochi Magnusa. If Hans Niemann doesn't win the World Chess Championship at some point, we might be looking at a very sad times for the chess economy. Because love him or hate him, he's currently the only player outside Magnus who makes people outside the chess world actually pay attention. And attention is the whole game. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Off topic, 84% of you watching the video are not subscribed. If you like the video, if you want to see more of this format, if you want to support the channel, hit the like button. Not even asking you to subscribe, just the like button. Oh, and I also have a school, my online school, Russian Chess School, where we teach you how to play chess. Bye!